Hello, good afternoon. It's a blessed day to be here. Just wanted to share a couple thoughts I had, um, some things that have been going on. Um, the question that keeps on coming back is, what is your testimony? And I always grew up believing that I wanted to be a child of God, but I didn't know how to be a child of God. I knew that I had sin in my life at a young age. I remember going to church. I remember hanging out with my grandfather and him just driving so slow and just talking, postponing where we're going to go just by driving slow and speaking basically hellfire, um, speaking into me. Um, but the biggest thing that I learned was being able to turn away from sin, to realize that this path and where it's going, where it's leading, where it's going to go, that's ultimately to hell. I remember going to Eastern Camp and knowing that this is like the only place where it's just going to be me by myself, away from my parents. And I remember staying behind one evening on Wednesday with my friend, a good friend. We were baptized together, actually, Justin Brockler, and basically it's like forcing myself to come to God because I knew that I was a sinner. Did I feel called that evening? Not really, but I knew I needed to do something to start that process, and I was there. Um, and after being baptized and learning and growing and being brought into God's hands through this whole process and being made perfect, more perfect I should say, being a vessel of honor, that um, is also the baptism of fire. And one of the things I learned was to not bear other people's sins. I remember one case where, believe it or not, this is after well past when I was baptized. I had a relationship, a short-term relationship. Nothing serious happened, but what she told me was very serious, and I took it to heart, and I felt like I was bearing what she went through too much, and it affected me in my life. And it helped to be able to talk it through with an elder and to just hear him out. And it took me a while to understand, but he told me just let it go. And as much as that was easy to understand, but it was hard to do. But once I, come to grasp with it and letting it go, it was so much easier. I don't have to bear someone's sins, what they did to someone else, or what they went through. It's not up to me. It's not my job. It's God's job. Another thing that I learned with my testimony was not being a partaker. Stop partaking in other people's sins. Um, I can go and talk more on that, but to set my time aside to glorify God. Another positive note, my testimony was learning to be a friend, a good friend. And I have so many good friends now, more so than I ever had in my life. But I'm thankful for my friends. My friends, I know that are there for me, that will always be there for me, and I will be there for them as well. And one of the other things to talk about was just to have alcohol and communion. I know that in our society, alcohol is a thing where people partake in, but you know what? Going from baptism to baptism and having communion that day or that following week, it's so wonderful to go communion to communion without having a drop of alcohol. I never thought I could be able to do it, but it's that's amazing to me. And I have to say, what is my testimony? My testimony is ever growing, ever changing. Not changing away from believing in God or believing in Jesus or the Holy Spirit, but it's changing because as I get older, I have more things I've gone through, um, more things I can reflect back on and learn. But most recently, the month of July, I never was put in a position where I was this past July. And I couldn't wait until August 1st. And going through the month of July 2024, I'll never forget. The first day of July, I got a notification that my billing agency, I had to find someone else new. And the 10th of July, I had scheduled to have my tonsils removed. I had to go through that. And then, the 20th of July, going to one of my best friends, their celebration of life, their calling hours. That was extremely tough. And through it all, I just had to give it all to God. And all the more with an 8-month pregnant spouse, my wife. And I'm thankful to God going through that month and bringing me out to the month of August. But I wouldn't be able to do it without God. And one of the favorite things that I was able to do was just rely on God and to trust in Him. Life isn't easy. It's very hard, but let's not make it hard on ourselves. All right. I just want to love up on you guys. Take care. God bless.